Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports tips from around the world. If this is your first time checking out a video, please do consider subscribing, as we are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. We're watching a clip of Speak. A subscriber asked me to do a video of Speak, and I saw this title, and I figured, all right, this actually seems interesting, so figured it was, fate. The question is Steph Curry or Patrick Mahomes more influential to their sport? The answer is so obvious to me that I can't believe it's actually even a question. I'm really interested to see what these guys have to say, because I feel like at least one of them is going to get it right, but I feel like some of them are going to be wrong, and I'm curious to see, the wrong answer and how they explain it. But to me, off the top, it is 1000%, no ifs, ands, or buts, not even up for debate, Steph Curry. Steph Curry completely transformed the game of basketball. Completely. From the spacing of the court, the way the ball moves, the way you approach gameplays, the way how no scores are ever safe, the way how 20-point leads used to be like a death sentence, and now it's like just part of the game. We see 20-point swings all the time. The fact that we're seeing such deep threes, the fact that everyone is becoming a three-point shooter now, everyone knows that they need to be able to shoot. And it's all Steph. Patrick Mahomes has done some really awesome, crazy, great stuff, but not things that we've never seen before. We've seen them plenty. Now, maybe Patrick Mahomes does them the best necessarily, but he is not redefining and redefining, what the game of football is and how you play it. Again, he's an amazing elite football player, but he has not changed the game of football. You can't tell the story of the evolution of basketball without saying Steph Curry, because of what he did specifically with the three. He's the one that made small ball work completely. You can tell the story of football in the NFL without Patrick Mahomes. Now, maybe in years, if he hits like 10 Super Bowls or something, sure. But again, that's kind of a different conversation. So I'm really curious to see what their explanation is for this. So let's take a listen, and we'll go from there.
Is more influential to their sport?
It's not
Steph
close.
Curry or Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, it's not close.
Ain't close?
No, it's not close. I mean, it's Steph Curry. Steph Curry has changed the way everybody plays the game. The one issue that I have, and of course I have an issue, because LeBron James is the one who said it. I'm kidding. Kind of. He said single-handedly.
Yeah.
And that's not accurate. And he didn't do it the second he came into the league.
Is Joy Taylor wearing pajamas?
Because if the Warriors don't win collectively, we're not following the lead of how Steph Curry plays. And Steph Curry wasn't
fair point.
Everything that Steph Curry is when he first came into the league. The dude could barely stay healthy.
Yeah.
Right? It was the combination of playing through Draymond Green as a point forward, allowing Steph Curry to play off the ball, defensively what they were. Klay Thompson being the splash brother. Like, if you take those pieces away, I don't know that Steph has the same impact on the entire league and the way everybody plays as a result. So that's where the single-handedly, it's a little bit more than that. Was he the nucleus and what he's the driving force? No question, because he was such a unique talent. But it was a combination of the Warriors' success and how they were built that allowed that to happen.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I wouldn't put so much emphasis like the heavy-handedness of single-handedly. A lot of hands in this. So much on single-handedly. I think he's speaking more to just the pure style of play. Obviously, the winning and everything and the style that the Warriors play lifted Steph up, and that's why we talk about Draymond the way that we do, because without Draymond, they're not going to have the success that they have playing that style. But Steph Curry as a player, what he's capable of, the range that he has, the consistency that he has, his ability to hit any shot at any moment, I think has truly influenced the sport of basketball on a massive, massive level. Because you can't make yourself LeBron James, as we discussed yesterday. Yeah. You are chosen to be LeBron James. God has to design you that way. You don't wake up 6'9". You just don't. You're either born that way or you're not. Steph Curry isn't a footer. He isn't going to overwhelm you with physical daunting. He is not going to power you through the court. He is a strong player. He's stronger than people think he is. But people design their game to the style of Steph Curry. That has influenced the college level. It's influenced the high school level. And it has made people feel that they can make it to that level if they can master those shots. And it has truly changed everything. And it's changed things on the defensive end, because if you can't defend the perimeter at all, you are now a liability. You have to be able to move around the court. So I think Steph has, as an individual, influenced the sport.
So I just want to know, before I get my take, we gonna let him get away with this?
What are you gonna say, Mahomes?
We gonna let him get away with this? I mean, he acting like Steph Curry is a regular guy. Like, it's all the guys running mayhem. Let's really dive deep into it, because I didn't like that. First of all, Steph Curry is the difference maker, right? We talk about Klay Thompson, who I love Klay Thompson. Swagger and all that, right? He's just being himself. Steph Curry was there first. They brought Klay on. Do you think the Warriors draft Klay Thompson if it ain't for Steph Curry? Let's match it up for a second. I got a skilled player that can shoot from anywhere, right? I go out here and get a shooting guard that shoots the same way. That makes the team. Draymond Green, who's one of my favorites, one of my dogs, right? Send me his jersey and all that, right? Is Draymond Green the same dude for the Spurs, for the Sixers, for the Lakers?
Yes.
So playing with Steph Curry, I got you better. I got you having a role where now people want to say, you know what? I want to go out and get a guy like Draymond Green, because I see what he does.
This idea that Draymond Green is only successful with the Warriors is comically absurd. Yes, he had the maximum success with Steph Curry and the Warriors. That's obvious. But to act like that if he was on another good team, the Spurs, back when they were a lot better, Sixers with Joel Embiid and even like a Ben Simmons, honestly, or like a Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green would have success. Put him on the Celtics, he's going to have success. Switch him out for Marcus Smart, and the Celtics are definitely better. I mean, so this idea, he is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Draymond Green, no question. So this idea that, he's just like a scrub, but is only kind of like elevated because of people like Steph Curry, it's just not accurate. It's just not. LeBron James was better when he played with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Does that mean that LeBron James was only good when he played with those guys? Like, no, of course not. So this whole idea, I just think is absurd. Yes, Draymond Green isn't good enough to be the leader, the number one player on a team, but that's not his role. That's not his position. That's not what where his talents lie. There's a lot of great players, amazing players, first ballot Hall of Famers who can't be technically the number one, person, because that's just, football is football. Basketball, you have different roles on the court. You do different things. So it's a weird point.
With Steph Curry and the Warriors.
Sure.
Let's look at Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr is a really, really good coach. You don't think it'd make his job a lot easier? When you got to do like Steph Curry, the three-point lines are here. I'm shooting 10 feet behind that.
Again, then under that logic, Phil Jackson's not a good coach because he only won with, Kobe, Shaq, and MJ.
You're making my point.
Let me finish, because I do think that Steph Curry is the difference maker out of him and Patrick Mahomes. But when you said about the role players, like kind of like they helping Steph, it's the other way around. Because now when I'm playing a basketball game, right, there's 4 or 5 players on the court. Sometimes it can get cluttered in there, right? I remember when the Lakers brought over Russell Westbrook, and Rondo. I said, it ain't gonna work. There's not enough space on the court. When you play with Steph Curry, it's so much space. Yeah. When Kevin Durant came over there, right, it was so much space on the court because we all can shoot. We got to follow Steph Curry from the time he gets to the arena
that he's trying to
the
make?
time he steps on the court. We got to cover him.
But can it be both?
No, it cannot be both. Because if Steph Curry is not there, it is not a show.
And if Draymond Green is not there, and Klay Thompson is not there, and Steve Kerr is not the coach, is Steph doing all of this by himself?
I mean, no. Well, no superstar does it by himself.
Oh,
Michael Jordan included. Nobody does it by himself. Okay. That's one part. The second part is we can go out and get some players that's like Klay. We can go out and get some guys that's like Draymond.
Like Klay and Draymond?
Let me sit here and name.
See, the guy who asked me to do this video, this is why I hate this show so much. Because he knows nothing. He has no idea what he's talking about. They're not other guys like Klay. First off, it's easy to forget Klay because now he's past his prime and injured and wasn't able to back up. Klay is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. They do not go on that run without Klay Thompson, okay? That's insane. Draymond Green is unbelievable. All the things that he does on defense and offense, he is the conductor. He is the one that's putting all these players in position. It's famously when he got suspended in the finals, pretty much everyone, any basketball fan, the Warriors organization, all say because he was suspended, that's why they didn't win the championship. He is a massive fundamental piece. They are significantly better when he is on the court versus when he is off the court. So this idea that you can just get another Draymond Green and another Klay Thompson is so asinine, so insane, so absurd, so stupid that I'm just like, what are you even talking about right now? Like, this is genuinely frustrating. Genuinely, a lot of you guys, if you watch my channel for a while now, you know I don't really like get angry. Like, I try to keep things light and more fun, and have a smile on my face. This is genuinely obnoxious, genuinely annoying. I mean, like, because this is just so absurd. This is like saying, Michael Jordan, LeBron James are overrated. Like, it's just like a stupid take, Like, sure, if you want to debate who's better or who's worse, then that's fine. But like, this is just absurd. You don't just magically get another Klay Thompson or another Draymond Green. It's just stupid. It's like, it's like someone just saying that based off of not actually watching any of the Warriors games, knowing that Steph Curry is obviously unbelievable and clearly the most important player. And so you're just kind of saying like, yeah, those other players are, just there. It's just so stupid.
Some players.
Okay. Maybe another point forward who's done what Draymond Green has done with the
Thank you.
Warriors and won championships.
Thank you.
We'll take that to another day.
No. Okay, because he said championships. See, but hold on. He said the championships to kind of give me a, you know what I'm saying? Because championships.
That's what matters. That's why everybody's replicating what they're doing.
No,
because they won championships, not just because they won.
You can only replicate it if you have Steph Curry.
That's what I'm saying. And if you look at the plus minuses when he does play and he don't play, when he's off the court, when he's on the court, it's a difference.
I'm not saying it's not a difference maker.
Another thing with the Steph Curry
I said single-handed.
Draymond Green has one of the highest as well of all time.
That's the
but
one thing
single-handedly,
you can't do that. You can't do that.
Like nobody does it single-handedly nobody does it single-handedly in a sport. We're speaking to specifically this.
Why did he say that?
Well, I mean, we don't need to like slice and dice it down to what he's saying. I think I know what he's saying.
They're not even asking. They're not even answering the question
on
though.
their sport, Patrick Mahomes or Steph Curry. Patrick Mahomes isn't doing it alone. He's an incredible all-time player. He's got Andy Reid and Travis Kelce and Chris Jones.
Yeah.
Like nobody does it alone. Nobody single-handedly does it.
I agree with you, Slick. It's not close. I do agree with you on that. It is Steph Curry
But it's Mahomes.
by far.
Wow, they
There's
all
little
said
kids
Steph
out there.
Curry.
I yell at my little kids all the time.
I'm surprised.
Shoot another three, I'm taking you out myself. Period. The coach ain't got to do it. I'm going to do it. You are not Steph Curry. But it's been some great shooters in the NBA before Steph. The Reggie Millers, the Ray Allens. And you know what it still was all about? Getting in the paint, dunking the basketball, fadeaways. It wasn't no three-point shooting. Ever since Steph Curry, every NBA team trying to find those shooters now to space the floor to do all that. Yeah. And you're trying to find guys like...
Yeah, so that's what's the thing. QBs, have, what makes Patrick Mahomes so uniquely special is kind of his combination of talents because he can run around and do his Mahomes magic. But then he also does all of the small things and the basic fundamental things incredibly well as well, and doesn't make those mistakes. Something that you can now ding a Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can do even more magical stuff than Patrick Mahomes. That's my honest opinion. But Lamar Jackson can't do the basic stuff anywhere near as good as Patrick Mahomes can. And that makes all the world of difference, right? But again, with Patrick Mahomes, there's not something that is so uniquely up there that now they've just completely changed the way, they scheme, the way they game plan, the way they send defensive packages, the way they, create offensive plays. Like, I'm just trying to think of like the way they call games in general. Like, I'm trying to think of like different specific football things that have changed because of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you can maybe make the argument that certain players got drafted because they saw some of the success of Patrick Mahomes, but like, we're seeing all of these players collectively kind of, be running around and be, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and even obviously years before that, Michael Vick, early years of Donovan McNabb, Steve Young, Brett Favre, even. You know, I mean, like we've seen lots of this stuff before, and kind of similar to what they're saying about, you know, how there's been other basketball players who can shoot threes, but what Steph did was so transcendent, so transformative, that it literally changed the game of basketball. You know, it's changed the game, how the game is physically played, how it's approached, you know, and players, how they approach it now, you know, how individual players see their own personal and individual growth and the skill sets that they need to develop. I'm just not so sure that that's Patrick Mahomes, right? Especially because the truth is whether Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams was still going to be Caleb Williams because he's an athletic, talented quarterback. Same thing with Josh Allen. Same thing with, you know, I'm trying to think of some maybe like other younger, more mobile quarterbacks. Somewhat Dak, you know, he's less mobile now considering since he's had a bunch of injuries. But, you know, like those players were just naturally who they were. But again, with Steph, you had other three-point shooters who could make threes. But when they saw Steph do it the way that Steph did it, it was like, well, now I have to try to replicate that. Now I have to shoot these deep threes. Now I have to shoot as many threes as him. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, they literally changed their behavior. Other football players aren't watching Patrick Mahomes and now changing their behavior. Or coaches aren't watching that and then changing the way that they, you know, design plays and call games, you know, offensively. You know, defenses aren't like, you know, I mean, to some degree, you can maybe make the argument that they realized, okay, we need pass rushing potentially, but pass rushing has always been really important in football, and you know, it's always been all about the sacks, and you know, you get the sacks, you get the money. So you know, it's hard to imagine what someone as some of the greats that preceded, say, a Patrick Mahomes, like the stereotypical Tom Brady, you know, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, like, you know, everyone just knows how important the quarterback position is, right? That's why they get paid all the money, and that's why everyone does everything they can to get a great quarterback. People knew the three-point shot was great and helped and benefited you, but it wasn't until Steph that they were like, you're not winning any games unless you have someone that can shoot even just 80% of what Steph can do, you know? And the truth is like, you don't necessarily need a Patrick Mahomes, but it certainly helps. And again, this isn't to call out Patrick Mahomes or say that he's not amazing and that he's not one of the best football players to ever play. I mean, if Patrick Mahomes retired today, he would still be one of the best quarterbacks to ever play in the NFL. So I think Patrick Mahomes is unbelievable and amazing and is so exciting to watch. And it does feel like if you don't have a mobile quarterback who can run around and make some moves and extend plays and move the pocket, that you're not, you know, that you can't win. But the truth is we saw, you know, a Tom Brady as a statue win a Super Bowl just a few years ago. You know, I mean, we saw that. Brock Purdy, who's nowhere near as mobile as Mahomes, or could do nowhere near as magical things as Patrick Mahomes, was a play away from winning a Super Bowl. You know, I mean, that's just the reality. And Lamar Jackson, who can move around and do all this magical stuff, it wasn't his lack of ability to do magical stuff of why they lost. It was him being able to do basic, elementary, fundamental things that, again, Patrick Mahomes does so well. But you know, so it's an interesting question to just kind of unpack what makes each individual player special and how it impacts the game. But if you're just asking this blanket question of who is more influential in their sport, it's Steph Curry, you know, and I have to imagine even the biggest Mahomes fans have to still concede that, you know. I mean, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really, really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.